broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Constantine fans. Welcome to a brand new Constantine AFTERBUZZ After Show. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, as always, Tauri Miller.
Hey, hey.
Isaac Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And we are talking about the Saint of Last Resorts.
Yeah.
This episode did not deserve a mwahaha.
I saw that you wanted to
I did want to.
And you restrained yourself.
I did. But this episode, in fact, was amazing in the ratings. Apparently, it was the highest rated episode that we've had so far.
Did very well for them.
Yeah. So everybody's watching. Yeah.
I mean, and it's been a big campaign. Everyone's trying to get people on the Constantine train.
Yes, sir. Hashtag save Constantine.
Heck yeah.
Let's jump into the story. We met Anne-Marie, who is another Newcastle person who is directly from the comics, only changed a tiny bit.
Yes.
And we meet her and she's a nun. Yeah. That's what Constantine does to women. He leaves them and they become nuns.
I know the feeling.
Do you?
No, I don't. Not
Do
at
tell.
all.
I was excited. She's also kind of an ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
They had relations at some point
They
in time.
did have relations, and now she's married to God. That's got to be like an ego boost for him, right?
No one's going to be better than me except for God himself.
Right? All right, so we meet her because there's some issue going on at the nunnery that she lives in. There are babies that are getting snatched. What's going on? What did you guys think of this initial story?
The story of her in Newcastle, or the
of
story
the babies being snatched?
I thought it was visually very cool. I don't know. I liked seeing the talons and stuff like that, and it was fairly scary, which I kind of like when the show gets to like a scary place, or at least a good jump scare. It's pleasing.
I thought it was interesting. However, and I knew from the very moment that Louise showed up that I was like, well, it's her.
You mean Sister Flirtatious?
Yes, Sister Flirtatious.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all in agreement that as soon as she walked in, it was all flirty. We're like, she did it.
Well, even just the first time we see her where she's just like, it's just mice. And then, like, babies go dying.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, and so I wanted to know, I guess the mystery at that point became, like, why? And so I was like, maybe she's a Baba Yaga. But I was like, I don't know anything about that, and I don't think that's right.
A Baba Yaga, what?
It's a Russian folk story about a woman who steals little girls.
Okay.
Which, did you get that from Lost Girl? Is that where? Okay. I was like, where have you heard of this?
I think Grimm also has reference to Baba Yaga.
Have they?
Maybe. I don't know. I make stuff up.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
I think it's just Lost Girl. And I probably told you about it because I grew up on that story.
Probably.
Well, we find out that it is Sister Flirtatious, which is what I like to call her. Because she was very... I feel like her makeup was more than that of a normal nun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she wasn't exactly plain.
Yeah, she wasn't nun-esque. But we find out that she is, in fact, Lamashtu, which I did some research on. Lamashtu is a Mesopotamian malevolent goddess, or a demon, or a demigod, all of these things, who kidnaps babies because they need to bring back the Invunche. Yeah, I don't know how to say it right.
All right.
But which is the creature that we saw at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So this whole story, oh man, it was fascinating. The whole story, as confusing, I don't know about you guys, I was confused through this episode. I had to rewatch it.
Well, through what part?
Through the babies getting snatched, and then the fake baby, and then the who she was and what she wanted, and then they go into the gutters or the sewers.
yeah.
That's what I mean.
I felt like it was pretty cut and dry. Like, essentially, they were just kind of building to the big reveal. So it was kind of like, all right, this baby gets stolen, then this other baby gets stolen,
Right.
and they're all in the same bloodline. So you have to trace it back through the generations, and you finally get to the grandmother,
Yeah.
who does the reveal. And so, like, I think, yeah, it gets a little muddy when they're like, all right, we're going to make this chicken look like a baby.
Right.
Because, like, first of all, I don't feel like... I feel like the demigod wouldn't be so dumb as to be like, oh, you had a new baby in the last day.
Right. It was a lot of... They were like, we're going to glamour it to look like a baby. And I was like, I don't think...
Yeah, that's not how babies work.
But that's not how babies work. It's not where they come from. But also, I don't think that she would be dumb enough to be like, this, chicken that we've filled with his blood is another baby.
Right.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess does she have some sort of count in knowing how many children are in that family line? I think she could fall for it, or just if it's strictly blood related, and they like I don't know, there wasn't like exactly like a turkey baster or whatever they put the blood into the chicken.
Yeah.
with.
Right.
But I could see that it's like some sort of like spell sort of thing to fool it, and also a plot device to move our story forward.
Right.
What I was assuming that she was essentially stalking this family because of her assignment. So they were like,
Right.
all right, you got to follow this guy because he's about to have his baby and his son is going to have a baby. So you need these two pieces of this puzzle. And so for her to be like, oh, there was another piece that I didn't know about, struck me as odd.
Yeah. Well, I also thought like the sort of overarching story of this, sort of like that Constantine is once again going to have to use like dark magic or some other sort of demon to vanquish his enemy. Calling back to the Astra storyline, and like creates a really good complication for the character to have to face that situation again, only get to like do it hopefully in a better way at this point. Which was really nice to see him say that, like, basically there's no, like, what does he say? Like, there's nothing that's too far or something to that effect?
Like, there's no too far when it comes to saving innocence.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I can feel like him talking to himself about the Astra situation. He doesn't feel like he probably did enough in that circumstance. And maybe there was one thing that he left unchecked, which was self-sacrifice, which is a really cool character thing for Constantine, who's... seems like a character that's out for himself, but in some ways, like, he has to be fighting these demons and all of this stuff because he actually cares about people.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool is that we got to find out that Anne-Marie is the one who actually turned him on to dark magic, and that she feels so guilty she became a nun. Like, what an interesting, what a crazy plot twist.
Yeah.
So we have these babies, and they've been taken by Lamashtu to bring back in Vunche. And what is also very cool is we get this backstory of the Brujerias.
Brujeria.
Yeah, brujeria.
Whatever, yeah. I apologize, guys. I don't speak Spanish.
It's fine.
Who are Chilean warlocks, in this story at least. But brujeria is Spanish for witches.
Yeah.
Specifically male witches, warlocks.
Yes.
And they've been hiding, and they are coming back. And this is from the comics as well, which is, this whole episode was like, hey guys, here's comic reference. Here's comic reference. And I'm sure the fans are like, yeah.
It's a really nice reward if you're a big fan of the comic and watching this show.
Yeah.
And we later find out that they're probably behind the rising darkness. They're the ones forcing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they reference that specifically, that they want to make, I guess, hell and earth to be no, divider, blocker, or whatever, between the two, so they can be the same, so that they don't have to hide anymore.
And it was really nice to finally get a concrete statement about the rising darkness.
Yeah. And I thought it was really well played out, just having him come to this realization that he's powerless in that moment, and then him kind of going, if this was happening, I would have known, there would have been signs, and then that being thrown down at us. And I forgot what I was about to say.
Oh no!
Yep, it doesn't matter. Yep.
Got Sean in the booth with that one.
Yeah, so we've found out who is behind the rising darkness and kind of what the plan is. Although up until this point, we've been hearing a lot of like, this might have to do with the rising darkness, and this might be what's behind it. The angels trying to come up, with Imogen and all that stuff. So to get a concrete answer before, as the mid-season finale, amazing. And then we also, Anne-Marie, who is this, first off, I think I tweeted this multiple times because I was live tweeting the episode. She's the worst nun ever.
So
She's drinking tequila with him. And
she
then
refused that drink.
She
but
turned him
she's
down.
hanging out with them while they're tequila drinking, and
Just because you're
she
a nun.
shoots him.
Just because you're a nun,
you can't shoot
doesn't
people?
mean that you can't be around people who are doing wrong. If anything, that's your job as a nun, is to be around people who are sinning, so you could be like, hey, there's another way.
And you might say that this was a last resort.
Shooting him?
Well, the show's called the.
Yeah,
episode's
I
called
know.
Last
I
Resort.
got it.
But that is a last resort to shoot him. But also just the fact that she called him in general, so she's kind of out of her nun zone, whatever you want to call it. So
guess.
she's making a few different decisions, but she she does refuse the drink, but I think that she wants some sort of redemption for bringing Constantine involved in all this, and probably knows that he's damned because of the whole Newcastle thing. She was there. And also just to give some more insight into Constantine himself. I think that's like probably the purpose from the writers, to show a more vulnerable side of Constantine, which we haven't quite seen that. We know that he has all the quips and jabs and stuff like that, but to see him really care about something, and that there's like some line about how he keeps people away because he wants to. He'd rather be him than them, or something.
Well, he can't get close to people to do what he does because it requires losing so much and sacrificing so many things.
Yeah.
And we've seen how he handles the people that are close to him. They all become bargaining chips. Like I wrote down one of the quotes somewhere. Everyone's just a port in your storm. Like he's living this chaotic life.
Yeah.
And each person that he comes across is just a means of getting through the storm.
Yeah. It's all a very exciting episode. We got so many answers and information, and it was great.
Yeah.
And I just want to say there was this great parallel when he's fighting Lamashtu, and he has to summon another demon to take her away. And I was like, this is what happened with Astra.
Right, that's what I was saying, yeah.
You're going to risk Anne-Marie now.
Yeah, but now he has an opportunity to redeem that moment and still do something good, which, like, I like that when, before she shoots him, he's like, you're a fast learner or something like that.
Yeah.
After he had met, or fast study, yeah. So I see him trying to still make up for that moment, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
What else I thought was really cool visually was that tree with like the flesh fruit or something and like the blood pouring down.
Oh yeah.
Was that the only ones? Like, it's really gross but cool.
It was disgusting.
It was great. The forbidden fruit tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, before we switch gears to Zed and what's going on there, I want to take a moment to thank our listeners all season. We are at the fall finale, and we are very sad to go on hiatus, but we are very thankful that we have you guys. Thank you for downloading and streaming and listening and all that good stuff. We ask you to do one very simple thing for us. Go on to iTunes, rate and review us. If you like us, give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, sure, that's okay too. Give us 4 stars and leave a comment. Let us know what we're doing well, what we could be doing better. Also, comment on YouTube, tweet at us, and we have some shout outs on iTunes.
We have a shout out.
A shout out on iTunes.
And this is from Beelzebub.
Nice.
Beelzebub, nice.
Yeah, well, it's spelled Baylesebub. So Beelzebub or something. Either way, it's the Dark Lord, I guess, commenting on our podcast, which is really cool.
That's creepy.
Took some time out from I don't know, trying to destroy the world to comment on our show. He says, great discussion. Wonderfully, wow, okay, hold on. English. Wonderfully complexity of conversation in this rigidly polarized zeitgeist, which are all words. I don't know if you guys knew this. And also...
Quite possibly my favorite review ever.
Yes, in junior high Isaac goes rigid and pole in the same sentence. Kind of funny to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I had a tee-hee when I read it. I was like, rigid, ha. No,
Okay.
No,
Am
yeah.
I the only one in junior
I understand.
high?
I get that. I've been there.
Great.
Okay, have you?
I have.
Okay.
Let's talk about Zed, guys. So Zed, we get a little bit of info. Maybe. I mean, when I did some research, we got info.
We get a right prediction by someone
Yeah.
who said it might be
Yeah.
her father. Not going to say who it was.
it?
Not just that it might be her father. Tari led us to
The cult.
The cult. Tari
Yes.
was like, "Hey guys, here's a prediction that is 100% correct."
Yeah, I thought he was a cult leader, but I said father. It was me. I was the one who guessed.
Oh, you said father.
Isaac.
It was me. Why am
Good
I talking?
job.
Yeah. Why am I talking?
I
Like
was
this?
giving all the credit to Tari.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Way to. That's why you should let us know when it's you.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
because I was going to take it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let you
Take the
have any credit.
Oh, wait, I'm the one who put those two together.
Yes.
I don't think that's true.
So
Yeah, no, 'cause he said cult.
I said cult.
You said father.
You said father, and
I
she's
said-
like cult leader, father. We're a great team,
We are a
guys.
great team, guys.
Aw, man.
For those who don't know, we were right on the money. So we run into Eddie, the Hawkeye, who nobody recognized with his clothes on, let's be honest. Not just Zed. That was the best line of the whole show. Best line, whole episode.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, no, I didn't recognize him either.
It looked like the same guy to me.
Well, because they started on his shoes. How would you know?
Also, who
Didn't
looks at his-
recognize your
yeah,
shoes.
That's weird. Well, she and him go to a bar or a coffee shop. They're drinking together. And she touches him and sees him in white in what looks like a bank vault.
Yeah, like a safe or something.
Yeah.
It's like, is that where she grew up?
No, I had assumed it was like he had like a psychic block on him. So it's like anything that even if she tried to glean something off of him, it was wrapped up in that vault.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. I'll buy it.
That's very clever.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Am I missing a pun there? I thought I was missing
Like she wants to get his vault. Wait.
no, like he's
She
safe.
wants to heist his cash.
Oh.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's keep doing that.
So anyway, they head back to the milk. She's like, let's go back to my place.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, girl, if you just tried to touch him and you saw something weird, why would you take him
back
to
to your
your
place.
place? Like, go to a neutral zone.
Well, she had gone down that corridor before Constantine left and like saw that like room that was like space or something. So maybe she
The
figured
room
like
to the abyss.
yeah. So she was like, maybe I've got some tools there. If he gets feisty, I can
Right.
throw him in there or something.
Well, she doesn't even need to use that on him. She just ties him up.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, really cool that, like, because I feel like there's like a problem that they've sort of been having is that Chaz and Zed can't like almost coexist in the same episode. Like,
Yeah.
if Zed is with Constantine, then Chaz is like fixing the car, or checking out his daughter,
Yeah.
which would have been cool to see who his daughter was. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so, like, at the very least, if they were doing that they gave her her own like solo mission to get into her backstory and then also show that she could kind of kick ass.
Yeah.
Because she really hit him like one time and he was out.
No, she definitely kicked ass this episode, especially when she fought the blonde girl.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
That
Yeah.
was so fun to watch.
No one's ever going to complain about a girl fight.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I like that they managed to seed all of the things that were used throughout her storyline. Where it was like, oh, she looks at the dumbwaiter, she looks at the door, and
Yeah.
like that all comes back into play.
Yeah.
It was
Little setups and a nice little payoff.
yeah, this episode was, especially her storyline, was very well thought out and prepared.
Right.
And so Eddie is back at the mill house with her, and then the man arrives. Who is this man? And they kill Eddie after we reveal that he's her brother. There are air quotes on that for those listening.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you were right because you said that they were never going to hook up, and I thought, like, oh, they might.
Well, they did smooch. So if they,
Oh, yeah, okay. That's not necessarily a hookup. I don't
count that as a
yeah,
hookup.
that's true. It's like a Luke Leia thing.
Oh,
No,
His brother and sister.
Before you
because
know.
those were brother and sister. From what I understood, the way she was like, "Oh, he's your father too," like as though he is the father of the.
Oh, like a pat or a priest, like
That,
Father
yes.
O'Malley or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
It's the name that comes to mind. O'Malley is like my favorite father name.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So anyway, they shoot Eddie. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the pretty ones never live. That's like a rule. And then Zed and the blonde have an awesome fight, and we throw her over the edge of the abyss.
Yeah, which was cool.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like that the man injected her, that like he got to her, and then he calls her Mary. What?
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, I thought, I don't remember if it was Eddie who brought up that she's supposed to be this cult's salvation.
Yeah.
So for them, she's like, I don't know what they believe in, but she's like Jesus. And so,
Well, I mean, Mary is the mother of Jesus.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did a little research.
okay.
Especially because the fans were tweeting up a storm about the Resurrection Crusade, which is apparently the name of the cult.
Okay.
So they're a fanatic militant Christian group, and I'm going to say what I found, and if I'm wrong, please let us know in the YouTube comments or on iTunes. We very much appreciate corrections. And their goal is to create a new Messiah, to like actually create, and so she is the daughter of the leader, and he wants her to mate with an angel. And thus, she would be like the Virgin Mary because she's not having sex with a human.
Interesting.
And that would create the new Messiah. That's what I understood from what I read.
Well, she has had an angel inside of her.
Wow.
Ty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because she was possessed.
No, we get it. We get it, Ty. Thanks. Isaac, did you know anything
very
about?
clever.
Did you know anything about the Resurrection Crusade?
No, I've honestly never heard of that, but
Oh.
it seems dark and twisted and
Yeah.
wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Wow.
which is a cult kind of thing to do.
From what I understood from what I was reading is that in the comic they like bring her back and try to have her give birth and be a virgin who gives birth, but she's slept with Constantine and therefore is no longer a virgin and whatnot. In the comic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count that as a spoiler because
Because they haven't done it yet.
because it's in like the comics and that's not my fault.
Right.
So this whole Zed storyline, we really got more information about her, and we really explored, this other side a little bit. And I'm so excited now that she's been kind of injected and was taken away. What did you guys think overall this whole Zed situation?
I thought it was really cool. Like, I liked that we got so much. I felt like it was an information dump in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because this whole season has been like, who are you, Zed? Like, mystery after mystery after mystery. But then at this point, we meet Eddie, and he's like, here's this little tidbit, here's this little tidbit. And now we feel like we have a really good idea of who she is, where she came from, and all of her background for the
What
most
she's
part.
running from. Also really cool to see her piece together. I mean, I guess she touched Eddie, but like for her to trap him,
Yeah.
that's a cool, like, strong character moment for her, rather than her to sort of always be being taught what to do by Constantine or something like that. It's like, no, she knows enough to get around,
Yeah. Well, we end this season, or this fall finale. I don't want to call it season finale because the season continues.
Yeah.
It's a mid-season finale.
But it's not even a mid-season because we only have 13 episodes this first season. So we're going on hiatus.
Yeah.
It's a two-parter with a hiatus in the middle. But we end it with two giant cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Constantine's been shot, and in Van Chu, who is the guardian of the cave. Sorry, guys.
Viche.
Yes, that. That's what I said.
Ceviche?
Yes, Cerviche.
Yes. He is the guardian of the cave, which is what they called him. And, Zed is injected and knocked out. That's where we are left off.
Yeah. Well, I guess we didn't talk about Chaz yet, because I like his arc in the episode 2.
Well, let's talk about Chaz.
Yes.
Let's do.
Go ahead.
No, I like seeing him relate with Anne Marie, and then I mean, it felt like Anne-Marie and Chaz also did this sort of explaining, like, who Constantine is and, like, his motivation and stuff like that, which is, like, a nice way to expositorily tell us what's going on with him without it being overbearing. And I like that he, you know, like, they're supposed to be, like, the oldest of friends, and I like that he kind of, like, stood up for his friend, even, like, when he's talking that conversation outside with Anne-Marie, and, like, and he kind of calls him on his crap. I almost said another word, but he calls him on his stuff. And then for him to go inside and, like, comfort her, it's like, you know, like, in not knowing a lot about Chaz yet, or, like, how he heals and stuff like that, it's good to see how good of a guy he is to Constantine and those around him, because he cares.
Yeah, and I like that Constantine has a friend who's kind of his moral compass, and also, like, he is the perfect friend for this character because he can't die. So even if Constantine betrays him, he'll still be back the next day being like, man, that sucked, you were a jerk, and then they'll still be besties.
Here's my problem with Chaz.
Okay.
Because I love him. Love the idea of him. Love that he's the moral compass. In the romantic way. Okay. Love everything about him.
Okay.
I want information. I want to know, because we've been told that so far what we've seen in the show is that he can't die. But we've been told through interviews and through the news that Chaz is not immortal. So he can die. We just haven't been told that in the show. And we haven't gotten information about why it is that he seems to be unable to die. And how many lives does he have? And, you know, if his head gets cut off, will it grow back? Like, what? I want information. I want to know how they met. I want to know where he comes from, and I want to know what happened to him. That's what bothers me here.
Fair enough.
Well, I feel like we're gonna get some more of that, or at least I hope that we are. I mean, it seems like he just has, like, a Wolverine type healing thing going on,
right?
Which is also maybe why he's, I guess, so old. It doesn't look so old. Like, he's his oldest friend, but, like...
But Wolverine can't die.
Well, he can. Like, he's been killed before. Even in recent comics, he just died, I think. But I think it's probably less, like, to the degree of Wolverine. Like, he probably has a high healing factor. So it takes a lot for him to die. Maybe he got cursed at one point and is, like, set to die at a certain point. And so he can't die until he gets to that point. Maybe it's something like that.
That sounds great. I just want to be told that.
Okay, here, I'm going to tell you what it is. He's a cat. He has 9 lives.
What? This is Witches of East End.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Chaz rhymes with cat because it doesn't, and that's it.
But it has some of the same letters as cat.
Yep,
so
almost.
I'll take it.
Yep.
If you turn that H on its side, it could be a T.
Totally.
Sorry, last thing before we, like, head into the other thing is just that, like, I really like the moment where, you know, obviously Constantine figures out that Sister Flirtatious, what was it?
Lamashtu.
Lamashtu. Like, one, I like him calling, like, searching for the name.
Oh,
Kind of cool. And then when he's like, it's almost like he was like, Slippy, Sammy, Swally, Samsonite. And then, like, okay, that's the demon, you know?
Yeah.
But I like seeing him in the face of, like, he could be killed.
Well, someone thinks you're hilarious.
In the face of, like, you know, like, sure danger, he's never one to back down.
Yeah.
And I like when, like, his first, like, when he figures out it's this demon, turns around, makes that face. And I like that he's just like, where are the babies? Like, and he absolutely meant business there. I thought that was really cool. Like, 'cause it, you know, kind of goes into more of, like, it building that he really does care about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, it was really cool. Like, a nice moment for him to just, like, really confront and not be like, oh crap. You know, like, he's never like, what am I gonna do here? Although he kind of says at the end, like, oh, I'm out of answers. But I just like him facing down those demons and never being, like, necessarily concerned about himself. He's just concerned about, you know, saving the kids or saving whoever it is in that situation. So it's like, I don't know, I'm just, like, loving the way that they're building this Constantine character.
Yeah. And another thing that I just loved about that scene where he's at the fountain, aside from him, you know, listing or washing the bowl. Like, hold on, let me just wash my bowl.
Yeah, I know.
So clever. The names and the listing when he was like, I have to figure out who this is. Is it a demon? Is it a fairy? Is it, you know, one of these other genres. He's like, I need to figure out, I think it's a sister of Eve, which got me looking up things, and I was like, what sisters of Eve? What sisters of Eve? Lilith, so so exciting. Biblical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff. All right. I think we very much covered the Saint of Last Resort, and now I think it might be good time to go into predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
What is that, by the way, that you're doing with your hands?
Therapin.
Therapin?
He's making the sound.
It's the instrument that makes the whooshy whoosh whoosh alien sound.
Okay. So what we see in the promo is, because it's going to be next year, guys.
Yeah.
So to save himself, Constantine has to cast a demon into himself.
Yes.
And Anne-Marie is trying to exorcise this demon, and it doesn't want to leave. Also, we see Zed doing stuff. That's all I got from the trailer.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Most
Predictions.
Well, was it either a specific kind of editing where you saw almost like you saw Zed with Constantine?
It did look like that.
Because I thought, like, isn't that kind of a spoiler?
A little
that
bit.
She makes it out alive?
Yeah.
It could be a dream, though, or like a
psychic
weird
connection.
Yeah, because we were introduced to I don't remember what they called it, bilocation.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie's,
Yeah, astral projection.
Yeah.
Yeah, bilocation, I guess.
Interesting.
Yep, something like that.
I think you just said it and just repeated it. That's
Yeah.
all.
That's true. That could be it. Nice call. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you got?
Well, I'm actually really looking forward to having like Dark Constantine, mostly because every episode in this section of the season has been Constantine goes on an adventure, but this is the first time he's like personally affected. Like you'll get one, I mean, the actor will get to kind of stretch his wheels and be like, all right, I'm doing something else. I'm like, I can be evil, I can be good. Like, I'm always in this constant storm battle thing. So that will be really interesting. I'm assuming that it'll take an episode, maybe two, to get it out, if they do get it out, because they still need to deal with the rising darkness. And so I'm hoping that we get a little taste of the brujeria. By the end of the next episode.
You think the demon's going to stay in for a few episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be...
Because it would give them another obstacle.
Right.
It sounds like you're saying they're going to do Superman 3 Constantine, like where we had like evil Superman for a minute there and he like didn't shave. Is that...
Yeah, I love Red Kryptonite Superman. I'm not going to lie. That's always
I do
my favorite.
in general, but like, it's like, well, sorry, that's like another topic.
I love you guys so much. Isaac, what do you got for predictions?
Well, not that the demon will stay in him, but I don't know. I'm just really interested to see how that plays out, I guess. Just that, like, sort of again, I guess that he's, willing to go to almost any length. Because it's almost like he needs to be here to fight these battles for us, which I guess I'd also like to find out, like, if other than, like, that, I guess that he wants to do this, like, why is he specifically chosen? Or at least, in the comics there's a reason, but, like, I want to know, like, on the show, why specifically he's chosen to fight these battles, like, because it almost seems like he's immune in some ways to evil, or at least, I guess he's just not scared of it.
Yeah. I predict that the demon will be out by the end of next episode.
Meh.
And I think it's going to be like Chaz can't do it, Anne-Marie can't do it, but when they work together, they can do it, or something like that.
Power of friendship.
Yeah. Or some other Newcastle folk will have to show up to help.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And then they will die because that's how it works.
Totally.
We'll definitely find out more about the Newcastle group. Also, Cigarette Watch 2014.
Yeah.
Which I guess next year will have to be Cigarette Watch 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, the last time we're going to have to say this phrase.
He lit some up.
He lights a cigarette, takes a puff, and pulls it out of his mouth, which I thought, oh man, we were never going to get that. And like, that's technically smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yay!
Every time
Really
we get
cool.
closer and closer. I hope by the end of the season, he has like 5 in his hand and he's just going one after the other.
That seems exciting.
That would just beat you to it.
Predictions. That's how I was going to do it. Yeah. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. Isaac, why don't you tell the people where they can find you online?
You can find me at Isaac Johnson on Twitter, the Isaac Johnson on Instagram, and you can check me out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week on the Ascension podcast, a new miniseries that's airing this week, and it's going to be really amazing.
Awesome. Tari.
You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. That's TaurijAY.
Cool. And of course, you can find me online at Yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. Also on Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. At Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, check me out on Twitter because I'm doing a giveaway that ends Christmas. So check it out. We'll see you next year for more Constantine.
We'll miss you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.